Let me ask you, where did agriculture begin? As you have studied wherever in your books. Now, where did agriculture begin? Whatever you studied in your textbooks.
12,000 years ago.
Huh?
12,000 years ago.
12,000 years ago. And where? No, don't remember. Anyone remembers? No? Okay. Which school did you guys go? Just kidding. Okay. So I don't know what they teach here, but say in America in the first elementary they will say it started in the Levant. You know what Levant is, like modern day Iraq and so on and so forth. Okay, that is a very fertile delta, you know, the two rivers coming together. But let me show you, this is not a modern map. These are the centers of ancient agriculture. The heightened one. Do you see India there?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, but the news has not reached the academia sometime. You know, where they talk about still 7,000. Actually, 12,000 is the correct number, good number, better number. They used 7,000 years ago. Cambridge professor, think of a name, Google afterwards. He talks about 7,000 years ago, agriculture began in the Levant, and then it came all over the world, including India. Okay, what should be our response? Nonsense. Because the evidence doesn't support that. Okay, these are the centers. India is there, China is there. No, Levant is also there. When you see number 4 there is that Levant. So yes, that is there too. And then South America and so on. But let me show you evidence from India itself. Okay, you are going to be surprised, by the way, with the evidence. This is from anyone from UP? Okay, you should feel proud. Okay, I will tell you something else to feel proud about in a minute. But this is the archaeology evidence for rice cultivation and domestication, not the wild rice. Okay, if you see, look at the wild rice here, that actually goes further along here, way further down. Okay, and we have an analytical chemistry professor here, how they do it, phytoliths. Just like we get the fossils, even the grains, like food grains, they get covered with the silicates. The food grain actually gets dissolved, but the silicates preserve the structure of that food grain. Okay, and that can tell you whether it's a domestic or wild and so on. Now keep in mind, if in the wild lots of stuff is available, then you may not even plant. Actually, I grew up in Konkan, like everyone knows Ratnagiri, okay, halfway between Mumbai and Goa. And there are places, I grew up in a village, and frankly, when we used to go to the school, our snacks time, you know, when you guys go for what, vada pav or something like this, our snacks time was basically me and my friends just go and figure it out, what we are going to eat today. Depending on the season, there are different types of fruits or whatnot, you know, and we just go do it. That's what people do. So rice going back to 8,000 years, this is in UP. If you go to Baluchistan, now don't immediately say, oh, that's not India. Well, that was India, right? Mehergarh, that goes to about 9,000 years before. But let me show you something else. Now, if you go back, this time I'm going to tell you that Sri Lanka was connected to India, by the way, that time, okay? You will see the time in a second. This is the evidence of possibly wild harvesting, maybe not planted, because we don't know that. It's a very long time ago and the evidence is not of high quality. But what is well known is that they were storing, they were cooking, they were preserving, all of this, they were harvesting of wild grains happening in the Indian subcontinent. Can you take a guess how long ago? 45,000 years ago. This is a peer-reviewed paper. Some people get stuck in a peer review. You know, this is 45,000 years ago. All preservation, everything else that people will do in the villages, or people who live on the top of the mountains or the hills. You know, they will just basically wild harvesting they will do and they will cook. You know, they can do that. 45,000 agriculture. Okay, people from UP, raise your hand again. Okay, this is your glorious moment, guys. Okay. The wild rat, Rectus, became a domestic rat or a mouse. Okay. And if you are thinking, based on what you are learning, for last 20 years we are exporting IT experts. The Indians are exporting IT experts around the world. Yeah, long time before that we were exporting domestic mouse. Look at this, where the graph begins. Okay, this is a bomb humming paper from 2007, paper written by a non-Indian, so all of us can trust the outcome. Yeah, okay. So 3 big varieties, there are many varieties, but if you see, and if you go around, I don't know, in Marathi we call it Mamagar or Ajod. what is the word? You know, Nana ka place, whatever you want to call it. You know, the mother's place. Yeah, affectionate place for all this domestic mouse is India. They started from India, and within India, therefore I said UP guys, please raise your hand in UP. Okay, now what's the big deal about this domestic mouse? Yeah, sure, if mouse wants to go wherever they want to go. By the way, they did not fly to Switzerland, okay? These are out of India migrations, agriculture based out of India migrations, they carrying agriculture with them. Why? Because domestic mouse is directly connected with the settled civilization. Domestic mouse. Okay, which survives on the food that is there around the house, that is stored, and so on and so forth. Okay, so basically this is actually telling you the